Weird and black, they revere that. Yup, you hear that?
Turnstile, switch it up. Young nigga raised hard, he learned not to give a fuck. Young nigga came far, still never give enough. Coming with the flavor, delicious, so she lick it up. Bust down, stick it up, I put it down, so pick it up. Scud town, saviors, done some till he shift to musk. Stench so stank that the shit compares soft to us. Crud so dank, make your face smudge dripping, cuz club go shake when the bass gets to hitting ya. They ain't really hearing us, but they gon' feel something when the way is paved clear enough. I don't fear nothing but the fate is God's real or not. Well, fuck it, got the world in my hands, and that's real enough. Fuck it, got the world in my hands, gold forms to touch. Might just spend it all one time to give it all to us. Yeah, give it all to us.
Yeah, this that hip-hop body rock, hardcore karate chop, neo-Nazi nasty, not feel it in my chest. How could you wear that name? Must be automatic shame, using automatic lame, heard it from the best. Fresh flow, let's go, plus I got a lot of heart. It's necessary when you dabble in this art. Grab canvas, paint picture, use them acrylics, paint a picture so vivid, the people gotta feel it like the Kaaba. Lyrics bear fruit like guava, words spilling out of my brain like lava. Spills out the top of a volcano, and they know that A-Right is not the one to play. No, I'm Kano in Mortal Kombat, cause the lyrics like blades. Aim it at your juggler when I'm on stage, until you heard me spit, homie, you ain't heard rage. On another chapter, so turn a turn. Okay, got that out my system. A-Right on another planet, dog, you must have missed them. When I do it, how I do it's of my own volition. Go make my destination even in the worst condition. My crew's the Blues Brothers, cause you know we on a mission. Eternity of ghosts, I make bumping in your system. I mean, banging it, and I'm still hanging it. And I got a gang of wisdom, I got a gang of rhythms, I got a lot of soul. I found the pot of gold, I'm wrapping that shit up, gon' sell it to the globe. I got some game to give them, they don't really want, but they really need it. And I want you to succeed, I want you to be free. I want you to remove every obstacle from being what you truly wanna be. I truly wanna see, and I can only lead by example. So here's a sample from me, so get up. Chapter, so turn a turn. Okay, got that out my system. A-Right on another planet, dog, you must have missed them. When I do it, how I do it's of my own volition. Go make my destination even in the worst condition. My crew's the Blues Brothers, cause you know we on a mission. Eternity of ghosts, I make bumping in your system. I mean, banging it, and I'm still hanging it. And I got a gang of wisdom, I got a gang of rhythms, I got a lot of soul. I found the pot of gold, I'm wrapping that shit up, gon' sell it to the globe. I got some game to give them, they don't really want, but they really need it. And I want you to succeed, I want you to be free. I want you to remove every obstacle from being what you truly wanna be. I truly wanna see, and I can only lead by example. So here's a sample from me, so get up.
one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game. You're tripping. How you high? No,
Greatest
high
Super Bowl
expectations.
I don't know what we're doing in that front office, man.
Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Her.
What the fuck?
Her upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches.
What is going on, folks? Welcome back to After Further Review. This is episode 143. I am your solo host today. I can actually say just host, not co-host. But I'm pretty sure the first time in the show's history. I'm flying solo, at least for the most part, on tonight's episode. Everybody else has got some just stuff going on this week. It is, middle of summer, so people are kind of busy at this point and, doing their own thing. So I am just chilling here at home, bringing you episode 143. This will be a shorter episode, as you can imagine. It should be the shortest episode in AFR history, because we really only have 2 topics, which is NBA free agency tracker and what's up with that after that. So Malin might be hopping in at some point. G Money also might be hopping in at some point. I'm not sure, but you guys will obviously find out in real time if that happens. So, I will be just driving the ship by myself today. So, yeah, we got some NBA free agency stuff to get into. There has been a lot of signings already. Not too many big names have gone anywhere yet. We're still waiting for some of the, like Harden and Lillard to see where they go, but still a lot of people moving around nonetheless. So before we actually get into the full show, I do want to mention, if you do not subscribe to our YouTube channel, if you don't even know that we have a YouTube channel, we do. It is the Melheims Media YouTube channel. So if you click the first link down in your podcast description below, you will be taken to our YouTube channel, and that is where we live stream the show every single Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. So you can tune in, participate in the live chat that we have up here every single Wednesday night. If you just see the replay afterwards, you can just leave a comment, drop a like. That always helps. And also be sure to subscribe to the channel, because that way you'll be notified. You can stay in the loop every Wednesday night, just in case you forget when we're going live. But same thing vice versa. If you just want to listen to the show and don't want to watch it, you can click, if you're watching on YouTube already, click the first link down in the YouTube description, and you'll be taken to your favorite podcast platform where you can just listen to the show whenever you please. So, getting that out of the way as I burp right into the mic, let's go with our NBA free agency tracker. So, I've got a list of some of the more notable moves of this free agency. And we are going to start off with the fact that Fred VanVleet of the Toronto Raptors, he is signing with the Houston Rockets, and I don't blame the man, because they gave him a bag. 3 years, $130 million for Fred VanVleet. Houston just seems a bit desperate on this one. I like Fred VanVleet. I mean, he's a good guard, but I think just that he's a good guard. I don't think he's great. When's the last time anybody was really ranting and raving about him since the Raptors won the finals a few years ago? So I'm sure the Toronto fans really liked him, and they held him in a pretty high regard. But this just seemed like a kind of a desperation move for Houston, just trying to get quality players to come there. And they did get one. He's a good guard, but again, he got paid. Good for him, but geez, he got grossly overpaid. So Houston, good luck with that one. You got a nice, reliable guard that you just overpaid for. I think it's just simple as that. you know what you're getting with Fred VanVleet. So it is what it is there. Another guard, though, coming to Houston is Dillon Brooks from Memphis. That was a big surprise with him going to, again, Houston of all places. I think that the Grizzlies, once they got Smart from the Celtics, they knew that they have a new, there's a new dog there, because Brooks and Marcus Smart are, kind of like the tough guy, the maybe not Marcus Smart, the tough guy, but they're like the engine that makes the car goes. They're the dog of the team. So they didn't really need two. And once they got Smart there, who is more experienced and just an overall better player than Dylan Brooks, they knew that, okay, you can go, especially after his shenanigans in the postseason this last year. Not a very good idea to call out the greatest player of our generation during the middle of a playoff series, and hence why they were annihilated after that. So, when players do stuff like that, it's never really a big surprise to me once they are no longer with the team that next off season. So, yeah, I have no qualms with the Grizzlies letting him walk and not wanting to sign him, because it just made sense in that way. And again, Marcus Smart, same sort of player, but just much, much better. And you can count that, you can rely on him that he's not going to do something stupid like Dylan Brooks. Shout out to G Money in the live chat. I think Van Vliet is a better fit for Houston and cheaper than what Harden would have cost. Very true. Dylan will make Houston tougher and they'll play better defense. Yeah, he will be a good fit in Houston. Doesn't seem like his time in Memphis had, came and went. But Houston, they could use somebody like him. But that'll be a very interesting team this year, the Rockets. So anyway, moving on to the next signing here. Gabe Vincent went to LA with the Lakers. They are giving him 3 years, $33 million. I think the Heat had offered him, I want to say the total was like 24 or 22 or something like that. So yeah, he was like, I'm gonna go over to LA where they're giving me more money and go play with LeBron and them. So props to him getting his money. I think we all knew, there was no way that the Heat were going to be able to retain all those wing players and Strus, Vincent, Martin, Hero, like Duncan Robinson, like all those guys. There was just absolutely no way that they're all staying in Miami. So good for him getting the bag there. And for an undrafted player, that's a really good deal for him. So big props to Gabe Vincent for landing in LA. I think he'll be a solid fit there because they're keeping D'Lo, but they're getting rid of Dennis Schroeder. So I think he's a better player than Schroeder was. Schroeder was kind of like, I don't know, you could kind of forget that he was there at times. But Gabe Vincent is, I think, a bit more consistent than Dennis Schroeder was. So I think he'll be a very good fit there. LeBron likes his shooters that he can just kick out to and rely that they're going to more often than not knock down their threes. And I think that's what Gabe Vincent is at the end of the day. So, we'll see how they fare in the regular season because Miami was not a very good 3-point shooting team during the regular season. And then they just shot out of their minds in the postseason until they couldn't in the finals. But, nonetheless, I think Gabe Vincent will be a good fit with the Lakers. So far, I haven't really seen any signings that I was, real head scratchers at the more notable ones. Actually, there's one coming up, and that's kind of the only one that was a head scratcher to me. But moving into some of the re-signs that happened, people getting extended with their current teams. So if we go with, let me bring this back up. Okay, so LaMelo Ball is staying with the Hornets. Got his 5-year rookie max extension. Same thing with Anthony Edwards with the Timberwolves. No surprise with either one of those guys. That was just very expected that both of their teams were going to make sure that they locked them down long term. So, props to them getting their money early on. So this is the one that was kind of a head scratcher. But Kyrie staying with the Mavs for 3 years, $126 million for him. He was, the Mavs and him kind of in a tough spot as far as, nobody else was going to go take the risk on Kyrie at this point. And it's kind of like, who else, if you were going to take a risk on him, you didn't want to put out a bunch of money to go get him. And then he comes there and flames out. So, and he's expecting to get paid top dollar. because he's, still sees himself as one of the best point guards in the NBA, which he is. So in this instance, it's kind of like, nobody else is going to take that risk. And so Dallas is like, well, if you want to stay here, here's what we'll give you. And he said, all right, now let me be real here. Yeah, this is probably the only thing I'm going to get. So let me stay here. Like, this is the best thing I'm going to get. However, I just don't know why Dallas even wants to keep him around. I didn't think that this was going to be a good fit when he first got there in the middle of last year. And ever since then, it has shown exactly that way. Like, that is a disaster between Luka and Kyrie. It does not seem to work. Maybe they're going to, I'm assuming they're obviously going to try and work on things during the offseason to make that more coherent and smooth that offense out between the two of them. But I don't know. Both of them really need the ball in order to be effective. Not very good on defense. So it's, they're just too similar of a player to me. So I don't see how Dallas is going to remedy this going forward. And yeah, both dudes also seem a bit emotional and, will kind of get in their feelings a bit when things aren't going very well. So this was a head scratcher to me. I'm sorry, but the Mavs, if I was Mark Cuban, I would have been like, Kyrie, I'm sorry, but we have absolutely no intentions on having you here long term. So we'll have to figure out an alternative. But Dallas, good luck with that. Another one, Austin Reeves. He's staying a Laker 4 years, totaling $54 million. His contract is kind of weird. It's got kind of like incentives in there to get up to that $54 million mark. So we'll see there. But anyway, AR-15 staying in LA, which good for him. I thought he was going to leave. I'm not going to lie. I thought that some other team was going to come along and offer him a big bag of money, and he was going to go up and be a starting point guard somewhere else. But I think it's cool that he's staying in LA. He gets to stay in the system that he already knows and already appreciates. Already knows, and a team that already appreciates him, and he'll continue to be a good fit there. He made a name for himself as a Laker. So good for them bringing back AR-15. I'm glad to keep seeing him on a relevant team. I just really did not want to see him go to like an Indiana or like Brooklyn or something, or wherever, Houston, and it's like that's last year Austin Reeves, because you're not going to be watching him play very often. But him staying a Laker, they should be back in the playoffs next year. I don't see why not. And he proved to be a very, very good guard, and he's entertaining to watch. So, hey man, good for AR-15. Reading some of the live chat here. G Money, you're absolutely right. No one was going to give Kyrie what he wanted, and Dallas wasn't going to let him walk for what they gave up for him. Yeah, I personally don't see it working out. Yeah. Tyler saying that's a good contract. I'm assuming you're talking about Kyrie, or maybe it's AR-15. I'm not sure, but next one, Milwaukee bringing back both Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez. Milwaukee trying to keep the band together, and I don't know. I don't really know why. Brook Lopez, I get that, because he's still, him and Al Horford are just like the two kind of older guys who are just holding it down and haven't shown too much deterioration, for lack of a better word. They're still very good players, very good defenders, still very efficient on offense, and it makes sense to me that Milwaukee would want to bring back Brook Lopez. As long as he still stays healthy and is still proving to be effective, then why not? Chris Middleton, though, this was a weird one, because he just has not been available or consistent ever since when they won the championship. And he wasn't even around for that, if I remember correctly. So I don't know why they brought him back and are, still sticking with that contract. But I would have just seen if last year what I could have gotten from him early, and at this point been like, all right, Chris, it's been real. Thanks for everything. But at one point when they were in the finals, Middleton was kind of known as like the poor man's Kevin Durant, and haven't heard that comparison since then. So I don't know. Chris Middleton's another head scratcher. I guess there's a couple head scratchers in here that I forgot about, but hey, it is what it is. I'm curious for Bucks fans what they think, because he's obviously been there for a while, and I don't know where they stand on Chris Middleton as of late. But if you know any Bucks fans, would love to hear their opinion on this one. So rounding things out, the two that are still up in the air, which are the two the big names, Harden and Lillard. James Harden, I'll split these up. Harden going real quick. I think ultimately he'll stay in Philly. I just don't know, what other team is going to pay him at this point. Houston, the shoe has already fallen there. They're obviously paying Fred VanVleet all that money. I don't think they could afford to go also bring in James Harden, or it just wouldn't really make much sense. Like G Money said earlier, like VanVleet is doing the same thing in a more financially efficient way than bringing in James Harden. So, yeah, Houston seems like that ship has sailed, I would imagine. So I don't really know where else he would go and where it would make sense, of course. So I think ultimately he works things out in Philly. Now, Dame Lillard, he did come out and say that Miami is where he would like to end up. And a couple of weeks ago, I was saying that I don't think that he will end up on the Heat just because I didn't think it would work, like personality-wise with him and Butler. But I think my tune has changed a bit. Because if he's coming out and personally saying that he wants to go into the Heat, the NBA is a players' league. And when these dudes come out and say, I want to go here, this is, what I want to do, it seems like more often than not, that is what happens. They do get their way, so to speak. So I think he'll end up there, unfortunately. I'm just kind of waiting for that Woj bomb to drop that Damian Lillard is officially in Miami Heat. So I think it'll have to, it seems like it's going to have to be a three-team trade, because the Heat are trying to give Portland Tyler Hero, but Portland does not want to pay his $30 million a year contract, which I think everybody knew that contract was going to come back and haunt Miami, because after the bubble, we knew that they were overpaying for Tyler Hero, but they were impressed with their sixth man of the year, and he was going to be that guy, and we haven't seen it since. So it seemed like everybody besides Miami was in on that one. And I don't know. Miami seems to, if they get Lillard at this point, it seems to be expected. Malin, what's up, man? Give me 1 second. Let me add you into the stream here. I told you, folks. Let's do this, do a little bit of that. Okay. Okay, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, the stream can hear you. Let me just make sure they can see you. Give me 1 second. Don't mind us, folks. Just another week in paradise.
I'm just showing impromptu here. I can only hear you. Where's everybody else?
Oh, it's just you and I, my friend.
What? Where's your money?
I don't know. He's in the chat.
Okay.
Oh, but there he goes right now. Oh boy, I gotta add in another. Move things around again. All right, you are squared away.
So what are we talking about?
So I was just talking about some of the free agency moves, and I got to James Harden and Damian Lillard. G-Money.
Dang. We're just all coming in now.
Right. All right, let me rearrange some stuff. You guys can keep talking. Yeah, where do you guys think Harden lands? Let's start there.
I think he stays with Philadelphia. Yeah. I don't. If when he basically put it out there that he was going to opt out of his player option, I think his agent read the room, and so there's no way any other team was going to sign him to 5 years max deal, and probably told him that the most money you're going to get is if you opt into that player's option, because you're not going to get that out in the market, and he's not, and. Houston might have been the team he went to. They signed Van Fleet, not going to Golden State because they got CP broke down 3. And really, there's no other team that could use him and is willing to pay him, especially, in July, the new CBA goes into effect. And if you're a young team, and you've got players that you're going to have to re-sign in the next year or two, you're not going to sign Harden to a max deal. That's going to cripple you.
Yeah, I think Harden stays for one reason. I don't think that anybody is going to offer the Sixers what they want for him. Their asking price is too high. Now, does he want to leave? Yes, because Joel Embiid threw him under the bus in post-game press conferences in the playoffs, just like he did Ben Simmons the year before. Now, he did quarrel a lot with Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers isn't there anymore. But I just think the asking price is going to be way too high for him. Now, when it comes to Dame, I think that Dame is going to try to really lay into all of the national public perception that he deserves to go somewhere to win a chip. Because to call your shot and say one team that you want to play for, Miami, I think that hurts your status because Miami now knows that that's his preferred place to go. So now they can lowball the Blazers, and the Blazers can say no. So, I mean, I think that when players start saying stuff out of emotion, I think it's problematic. I mean, look what happened with Kawhi Leonard when he demanded a trade. He went to Toronto for a year. Now he won a chip, but he went to Canada. Okay, you went from Texas to Canada because you wanted a trade. It's fucking ridiculous. So no, I mean, I don't know. I do agree with Jalen. I think when I jumped in, you were talking about maybe a 3-team deal that might need to happen for Dame to get to Miami. Some people had linked up Dame to Boston a little bit, but I was hearing today that Boston's Jalen, you're not going to want to hear this, but Boston's talking about wanting to offer the Supermax. Jaylen Brown.
Well, they just freed up money by trading Brian Williams.
Oh, you mean
so,
Grant Williams?
Grant Williams. Yeah, Grant Williams, Brian Williams, same player, same
guy.
Same thing. Yeah, $56 million.
Sounds like a Boston name.
I mean, yeah, but they just did the deal, sent him to Dallas. Dallas sent some players to San Antonio, and Boston gets 2 second-round picks.
Yeah, I'm really, I could see Dame going to Miami still. It does. That is one thing, though, mainly like you said. It gets kind of weird, though, when players do put out, like, specifically where they want to go, because it kind of creates this bottleneck now of, like, the leverage gets taken away. Like, if you would have as quietly as you could have maybe told somebody where you want to go. I don't know how well that would have stayed on the wraps, but at least tried instead of being like, this is where exactly where I want to go. It can still, teams can make some leverage and maybe make some things happen, but you really put teams in a hard spot when you get specific and pull a Kyrie or a Kevin Durant type move.
Some funny shit though. The Miami Heat Sacramento Kings Summer League game is about to go on ESPN, and the Sacramento players are wearing a shirt that says "Sacramento Proud," as if anyone that's ever lived in Sacramento is proud of the fact that they've lived in Sacramento or proud that they were even born there. There's probably a lot of forgeries going on in birth certificates for people who were born in Sacramento. Dump ass city. Yeah.
Well,
should I mention that I've already been drinking a little bit before I got? And dude, Dylan, I am on a porch swing right now.
Nice.
This thing. It's like, hold on, this thing is like a twin bed that I'm on.
It looks pretty comfy. I'm not gonna lie.
It is amazing. So I mean, any and all sports can kind of go fuck themselves right now. I mean, all these people making millions of dollars. I want a porch swing. $300,000 for whatever sport you want. Build me a porch swing.
Well, before we hit what's up with that, was there any other free agency moves that you guys thought were interesting?
Well, interesting in a way that, in Portland re-signed Jeremy Grant for $160 million. I think they did that without thinking that Lillard was going to ask for a trade. And so now they're stuck with another bad contract. And it's like, but we signed Jeremy Grant to stay here with you. It's like, yeah, no, that's not a bio. And he actually said it's Miami or Brooklyn. So either of the two teams. I mean, he would prefer Miami, but he would go to Brooklyn. I'm like, why? Why would you go to Brooklyn? Have you been to Brooklyn? Shit, you might as well go to Jersey.
The one that I think is just asinine. Let's talk about Dylan Brooks getting $80 million to do anything in life. I don't even think he could write his name in crayon. He's so damn stupid. He's known for his mouth, not his intelligence or his basketball IQ or his skill. In Houston, it's just like, you know what? Exactly. $80 million. Let's go. I think they pay $210 million total to him and somebody else when combined their points per game is like 21. So I don't know if Houston thought the NBA changed the rules of the game and it's kind of like golf, the lowest score wins. But it kind of seems like that's what they're building their team towards. So Dylan Brooks still being in the NBA just flabbergasted me. His own teammates wanted to beat the hell out of him in Memphis. They didn't even like him. John Morant waved a gun around to get suspended so he didn't have to be around him. So I don't know why he's still in the NBA. Now he's going to piss some people off in Texas. Go get him.
I think he'll be just fine there because Houston's got absolutely nothing going on there. So something's better than nothing. But long term, good luck with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be probably done before his contract is over. And he's playing with a lot of, aside from Van Fleet that went down there, they've got a bunch of young people down there, second year players. It's a young team. Maybe they're hoping that they would bring some leadership to the team, though I don't know what type of leadership that would be. And quite frankly, maybe the heat and humidity's just gotten to the coaching staff and the GM there, and they just thought, hey, let's bring him down. Yeah, he's a tough guy, and he will bring toughness to the team. and maybe he'll slam one of the players. So, I mean, it's not like they were bringing in Green from, we know he would slam one of the players.
When you say slam one of the players, I don't know if we're talking about like basketball slamming or backdoor
I mean,
slamming.
like seriously
probably
body
live-
slamming them. Like seriously
probably
body
body slam
slamming
too.
someone. You go
Body slam, back slam.
like the old
Somebody-
school
Somebody
19
shut the back
late
door
80s
because he's about to
Detroit
come in.
Pistons, where
Yeah. Good Lord.
if you're gonna come into my house, you got to be tough, or you're not gonna score.
Dylan Brooks is just terrible.
Amen.
Oh.
Let's move in, or before we move into what's up with that, if you're not following us on social media, it is right above us there. It's at AFR Sports on Instagram and TikTok. Be sure to give us a follow, go through some of our videos, weigh in on the new videos that we make. If it's a poll or if it's just a general question for you to leave a comment on, chances are you'll see a response in the next episode of the show. So at AFR Sports on Instagram and TikTok. So follow us there.
And just know this is not how we normally do business. We got some things going on. We're not in the studio. At least I don't think you're in the studio, Jalen.
No, I'm at home.
We got somebody got married.
Right.
I'm over here in South Carolina instead of Florida. G Money didn't get a text message. So
I did, but the problem was I was in traffic and I didn't notice it until like 15 minutes ago. I'm like, oh damn, yeah, I could be on.
Yeah, I was saying at the top of the show, it's summertime. People got things going on, so just bear with us for a little
while. G Money and I will be gone next week because we will be in Vegas.
Right.
So, will Nestor be back next week?
He should be.
Should be. I mean, how long can a honeymoon last in Colombia? Not enough air conditioning to really be all that romantic.
Moving on into the last topic for this week, and that is what's up with that. This is where we air out our grievances with the world of sports for the past week. So, Malin, let's start with you. What?
God, man.
Grinding your gears.
Starting with me. All right. What's upsetting me with sports? Okay, so this upsets me with sports. ESPN letting go of like I don't know how many people.
Yeah.
That I grew up watching on ESPN. And some of them, not only have I watched them on ESPN the last 15 years, but I watched their Hall of Fame careers in professional sports. So, someone like a Steve Young, a Randy Moss, Susie Colbert. Susie Colbert was with him for 27 years. Gone. Let's see, Max Kellerman. He used to be on the ESPN show. It was the trivia one.
Yes.
Before PTI, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But then he was also with Marcellus Wiley on Sports Nation. Max Kellerman was great. There's just so many people in ESPN, and they're saying that they need to save money. Like, okay, bitch, first of all, like, you work for Disney. You're supposed to be woke, so you're supposed to have all this money. Getting rid of all of these talking heads on a sports show, like, what is that really getting rid of? Susie Colbert was the one that probably hit the hardest for me. I was like, 27 years? I'm like, I'm 42 years old. So you're telling me that since I was 15 years old, this girl was on ESPN, and now, in a cost-cutting move, she's no longer there. And she was one of the Stuart Scott's best friends at ESPN. but before he passed away from cancer. And so to see ESPN do that, it just seems really odd, especially a lot of the NFL talking heads. Most of the ESPN, they do Monday Night Football, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of the pregame and postgame people are gone. So
Right.
I don't want to be there. Matt Hasselbeck is another one that was cut. The refs wanted to steal the Super Bowl from him, and now ESPN wants to steal the paycheck from us. That's cool. So yeah, it's just really upsetting that the ESPN is cutting out a lot of people that we've grown accustomed to watching talk to us about sports.
Damn, I knew that they, just laid off a bunch of people. I didn't see any of the names though. So I'm glad that you mentioned that because I had no idea that. I mean, damn, that's a good chunk of their Monday night staff is just gone, and a lot of the best parts of it too. Like between Susie and Randy,
Rex Ryan is still beyond understanding, but that's fine.
But ESPN has been they've been on the decline for the past few years, and I don't know what the hell they're gonna do long term, but it sucks to see that happen.
They say when you go woke, you go broke.
It's true.
That's what they say.
Well, G Money, what's up with that?
I am actually going to piggyback on Malin's because not only did ESPN lay off these people, and they did it for cost-cutting reasons, they turned it around and wore that worthless, no-good fucking punter whose last claim to fame is that he was on the same team that won the Super Bowl. He didn't do shit. Pat McAfee at 5 years and $8 million. So
wait, what?
Tell me where you cut the cost.
Okay, so Jalen, you know who Pat McAfee is, right?
Oh yeah.
You know his show?
Uh-huh.
ESPN signed him to do his show on their network while also allowing him to simulcast it on YouTube like he's always done. But it's like 75 to 85 million dollars. So now all of a sudden they got to cut money, so they're letting go of people like Hasselbeck and Moss and Culver and Young and all these people. It's ridiculous,
bro.
I mean, now maybe McAfee can afford a chair to sit in.
Maybe he can afford a real T-shirt.
So yeah, maybe a shirt with sleeves.
He has
arms like I do. He does not need to be wearing tank tops all the time. No shoulders.
The dude's a punter. I mean, chances are he's worked out somewhat after he was punting, but he didn't have those arms when he was a punter. And I'm like, dude, they're like, when I ask someone to name 3 punters and the 3 all-pro punters or 3 great punters, is McAfee one of them? The 3 greatest punters in the NFL, in the history of the NFL. Is he one of them? Is he one of the 3 greatest punters of his era? Is he even one of the greatest punters in Colts history? Hell, was he even the greatest punter on his college team? I mean,
damn, you're going deep now.
I mean, except for some Colts fans, if I said who's Pat McAfee, then they would say, well, he's got that YouTube channel. He's got that. Did you know he played football? Oh, really? Do you know what position they look? They go, I don't know, quarterback, something like that. No, he's a fucking punter.
The only reason why anybody knows who Pat McAfee is now is because Aaron Rodgers decides to talk about everything on his show. That's it. And AJ Hawk, of all people, a former backer with USC that also played for the Packers. So whatever.
I really like Pat McAfee's show. Him and his whole team, I think they've done a great job these past few years. But ESPN, I don't understand that at all. Like, if somebody wants to watch his show, they're just gonna watch it on YouTube, like they have been the past
not
3
gonna-
or so years now. And no one's gonna go to ESPN to watch that. Like,
And he doesn't exactly fit the ESPN brand. Let's
exactly.
be honest.
Like,
No,
there's
no,
a
he
reason
doesn't.
he has his
It-
own channel on YouTube where he can be in his own lane and say whatever he wants.
I would expect ESPN to make a show around Megan Rapinoe before they did a show around.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're talking about that.
Yeah, they probably are, and they'll probably get Hope Solo in there to slap some people. Yeah,
Hey,
she was married to
That girl-
Jeremy Stevens. Is probably why he dropped those passes in the Super Bowl. That bitch.
now he wasn't dating her then. He dated her afterward. I
Probably
think he started dating her when he went down to after he went down to Tampa.
Probably still her fault. Well, no, but she's from Washington, so they're.
Yeah, she's from Tumwater.
Sorry, Jim. We're getting out on a tangent here.
You're good.
Yeah.
It's just
We're
these are
talking
the
about the life of a former Seahawks tight end
yeah.
that sucked
see.
miserably. 40, dating
He did.
a World Cup champion, physical abuser, and Hope Solo. That's good. That's good podcast material, right?
Yeah, it is. I think so. I'd watch it.
If we keep talking about this, maybe ESPN will come buy us out next year.
You, me, and two other people. Yeah, they probably should.
Well, that would be good.
That'd be better content. Be better than Stephen A. Smith, I'll tell you that much. His basketball IQ is receding like his hairline. That's fine.
So my
He's
what's
like,
up with
he's
that?
stuck in like the 80s and 90s. That's why we don't know players' names. It's like
Let's
we see jersey numbers and we think someone else. It's like
go ahead and get into
personality.
what's up with that here as we get in this train wreck of an episode.
Yeah. My what's up with that? Even though this is not exactly news, so Jack Jones of the Patriots was arrested on some stupid gun charges last month.
Wait, who?
Jack Jones.
Jack Jones.
Cornerback.
Cornerback.
This is it's not exactly a what's up with that. It's more of just a concern. He should be in training camp, once everything's in full swing. However, knowing the Bill Belichick coaching doghouse mentality of when someone steps out of line, they somehow disappear. Please let this man play and put him back in the starting rotation because, yes, I mean, it was boneheaded for him to try and take a gun on a plane or whatever the hell he was trying to do. But come on. We've got Gonzalez now on one side of the field. If we can have him on the opposite of him, like Jack Jones and Gonzalez on this field at the same time, I'm really liking our secondary. And it would be a shame if we keep him off the field because we're trying to prove some type of moral point and punish him. Like, now's not the time, all right? We're come on.
Kind of like how you guys lost the Super Bowl with.
Exactly.
Y'all should have been Super Bowl 49 too. We're gonna go into all that.
For the reasons I still don't understand with Malcolm Butler, don't know what he did, but we don't need that same type of thing going down. We're not going to be a Seattle secondary this year, but we should still be pretty damn good if we've got those two guys on the field. So
Probably not going to be a playoff secondary either.
I don't know. I mean,
at best.
It's going to be tough coming out of the East. It really is. In fact, it's going to be tough getting a playoff spot. With everybody has basically improved.
Right
now, they just have to stay healthy. And yeah, I don't know what Jones was thinking, because it's not like it's new that you can't take a gun through security at the airport. And I'm going to assume that he bought the gun there and was taking it back to wherever he's from.
Yeah.
And just didn't think about packing it and maybe he didn't have any check luggage, and you just carry on. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, and maybe, I mean, there are a lot of possibilities, right? That he bought the gun, he tossed it in his bag, he meant to put it in his check-in luggage, and he just forgot about it, and he got to the airport, and it's like, fuck. You know, you go through security, the alarms go off, there's the gun, you know, the fuck. And then not only do you feel stupid, but then the rest of the world believes you're stupid.
Right.
And it could have just been the fact that you forgot. You know, you bought the gun, you were going to take it back home, pack it in your luggage, and then, you know, things get crazy. It's in your carry-on because that's where you put it. And then you grab everything to go catch a flight, guns in there. I mean, it's not like he was going to, hopefully, it wasn't like he was going to take over the plane. Start yelling, there's some ghost person in the back row watching them.
When you're a professional athlete, you're making millions of dollars. Maybe you're not smart enough, but hopefully there's people around you that are smart enough to not make a mistake that 99.7% of every other American in the country doesn't make, which try to get a loaded fucking weapon on a plane. Maybe we could be those people. Like, I don't understand what it is with the... it just doesn't make sense to me. All this stuff with guns all of a sudden. Guns have been around since this country was founded, before this country was founded. Now all of a sudden we're having all these problems? Gilbert Arenas didn't prove enough that you shouldn't take guns on planes? Shouldn't do shit like this? Nope. We ain't learning from Agent Zero? Nothing?
Nope.
Nah. Now we got John Moran out here. We got Jet Jones. Fucking Jet Jones, Jim Jones with Kool-Aid. I don't give a fuck. Like, just get smart. Don't get games.
I was just talking to somebody just last week who works TSA here in Tampa, and he said just in his part of the airport alone that 3 to 6 times a day somebody comes through security not knowing they had a gun on them or just trying to bring, like, deliberately trying to bring it onto a plane.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to curb that number down to about 78%. Instead of 99.8%, because I was giving too much credit to the American people. But then again, the state of Florida, the bill just went in. I don't know if you know this, Jalen, that there's constitutional carry in the state of Florida.
Right. Just 4 days ago.
I don't even need my my concealed carry permit anymore. Now I need it if I want to carry when I'm like in South Carolina, like I am now. But I'm like, okay, so I went through all that for that, and then you guys just mean that everybody can do it? Like everybody? If people seen the people in the state of Florida? Are we monitoring the amount of incest that is dialing down the gene pool that is happening in the state of Florida, yet now all of a sudden we're constitutional carry? That's cool. There's going to be gunshots in Walmarts. That I know for damn certain. We will not be ringing in bells trying to get money for the Salvation Army in December. There will be shots fired on Black Friday because somebody trying to get a TV that somebody else wants. But that's fine. Yep. Go ahead. Let's do it. We don't need to be responsible anymore. Fuck
that's right.
I don't even know what
if everybody has a gun, then there won't be any crime.
There you go.
That's the motto. DeSantis. Yeah. Let's do it.
That's all
right. Let's get this. Let's get this over with. I don't think I've added any value coming on this show tonight. I just felt bad going solo and just out here.
It's one of those weeks, folks. We want to thank you all for watching and or listening. Next week, the game of musical chairs will continue. We'll see what happens. But next week, regardless, though, we will be starting our record predictions for the NFL come next year. So
Jack's ass better be back next week. You don't get one. Needs to get off the fucking bench here. Yeah.
We will see.
We might not
Dial
ever
in.
hear from Nestor again. I'm concerned about it. He got married in Colombia. We don't know what the hell is going to happen to
That
him.
man is contractually obligated to be back here in like 10 days, I think.
We'll see if that happens.
Yeah, we'll see how that works.
He's going to end up in some sort of straw hut in Bogota.
So, reminded him that Lorraine Bobbitt was Colombian.
Okay,
Anyway.
America. We'll talk to you guys later.
We will see
All
you
right.
all next week. Have a good one. Peace.
Peace out, guys.